In this example, we're asked to solve some special triangles. And remember, special triangles are triangles that are either 45, 45, 90 on the angles, or 30, 60, 90. Those are triangles where we can count on certain ratios between the sides to be consistent. So before we jump into this one, I just want to remind you what these ratios look like. When you have a 45-degree triangle, like this one right here on the left, the sides are always going to be equal to each other. The legs of the triangle will always be equal. And using Pythagorean theorem, you can actually figure out the ratio between a leg and the hypotenuse. If you want to go from one leg to the hypotenuse, for example, with a 45-degree triangle, all you do is you multiply by square root of 2. Okay, so you see 1 over square root of 2 times square root of 2 equals 1. And if you're going back in the other direction, we divide by square root of 2. So the 45-degree angle triangles should be very, very quick. So let's take that example and use it up here. Well, remember, if I'm going from the hypotenuse, which is given to me, if I'm going from the hypotenuse to a leg, what you do in that direction is divide by square root of 2. So then the question is, what is 3 square root 6 divided by square root 2? Well, that's just going to be 3 square root 3. Okay, so that's our answer for this leg called A. And remember, with 45-degree triangles, those are equal to each other. So A and B must be the same. I have 3 square root 3 for both. Okay? The next example is 30, 60, 90. And I just want to use this diagram to remind you how to go between the sides and the hypotenuse very easily. When you go from the short side to the medium side, or the short leg to the long leg, what you're doing is you're multiplying by the square root of 3. And when you're going from the short leg to the hypotenuse, what you're doing there is just multiplying by a factor of 2, just a nice whole number 2. And if you're going from the hypotenuse backwards, well, we have to do a little division there, okay? Or you can think about it as multiplication by a fraction. If you're going from the hypotenuse to the long leg, that would be times square root of 3 over 2, okay? And I'm not going to draw all the arrows here, but you get the idea. So what am I doing in this example? I've got B, which is the short leg, and I want to figure out what C and A are. So remember, C is just going to be 2 times B, right? We're going to multiply this by 2 to get the hypotenuse. So instead of 2 square root 2, I have 4 square root 2, okay? And if I want to go to the long leg, this medium side right here, then I have to multiply by square root of 3. So that's going to be square root of 3 times the short side, which will be, if you think about it, that's 2 square root 2, that's the short side, times square root of 3, the ratio, which gives us 2 square root 6. Okay, so that should cover most of the examples that you're going to see. I'm not sure which your particular problem has, but just first try to establish whether it's 45-degree triangle or 30, 60, 90, and then use those ratios that we got from the Pythagorean theorem down here.